What's going on, everybody? Figured I'd sit down and have a beer with you. A little talk. I've been real busy with work. I really haven't had too much time to put some videos up, but I figured I'd put one up today. Getting more hours at work, gotta say that. New car's running great, man. I went from spending some ridiculous amount of money, like $180 a week in gas to go to work, to it all. When you first get the car, it takes a real. It's a strange gas gauge. It takes a very long time for the gas gauge to move down one click. I get about 120 miles before the gas gauge does one click, and it makes it seem like it's getting fantastic gas mileage, which it is. It's only a 5-cylinder. But after the second click, it goes down like a rock. But I'm only spending like $29 a week in gas, it was awesome. I travel 68 miles a day to go to work. Gotta do what you gotta do. That's all there is to it. And something struck me today. I thought it was strange when you hear all this martial law stuff, all this malarkey. In some ways, there is a grain of truth to it. People are easily controlled if you can control their movements and detain them, stop them, ask for your papers. All sounds familiar. After the storm, which everyone's tired of talking about the storm. I don't even like to talk about it, but the National Guard came in with some federal agencies, U.S. Marshals, a whole bunch of guys, and they basically closed my town down completely. We couldn't get home for like 3 months. It didn't matter what was going on. You couldn't get home. And I didn't understand it back then, but after seeing what happened with the gas line explosions and the fires and all the craziness, I understand it. I understand they were doing what they were doing because, me personally, I know I'm not a rocket scientist, but I was born with common sense. A lot of people have no common sense. My grandfather used to say it all the time. Boy, you got no common sense. And it's true. Some people have no common sense. And with gas and electrics and fires and electrics, gas and electrics, yo. Better catch him quick fast. There could have been a huge disaster, but it's been 6 months now, and we're still under curfew. And the rolling signs, they're like 20 feet wide, flash all day and all night, curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I know from experience, walking around, you will be stopped, you will be detained, and you will have to show identification or you do get arrested. I'm not keen on that, man. I don't like having my movements curtailed. And especially, I keep odd hours. I get home from work at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and then other times I'm leaving before the sun comes up. Sure enough, get pulled over. Or I'm walking, I get stopped and hassled. And I also, in the same grain, say, I understand a lot of houses are vacant. There's only like 20% of the population here back in their houses. And I understand their point, but it shows no sign of going away. And it's uncool, man. What do you think about the gun control bill? Oh, that was a fucking laugh. My opinion, now we have background checks in New Jersey, but I talk to other people and I see how bad it will get. You have the background checks, you have to pay a certain amount of money every year, and they just make it more and more of a hassle to acquire a firearm. Now, if someone goes into we'll say, I don't know, Cheesecake Factory with a tomahawk, a weed weasel, and a frozen bottle of spring water, and just goes to town on maybe 40 people. All right. Does that mean I can't get a garden weasel, buy spring water? You know, what's the deal here? I mean, I've had guns for so long, and I'm not the kind of person, because A, I have common sense, and I'm not that way to go frickin' berserko and start offing people. Just because one person does something, you can't punish everybody else. It's the same thing when your mom or your dad or whoever was raising you, the wolves maybe, would say to you, well, if he jumps off the bridge, would you jump off with him? Of course not. I'm scared of heights. That's a whole other ball of wax. No, that's ridiculous. If my neighbor wants an AR-15, I don't give a flying rat's ass. That is his right. And, you know, everyone's like, well, we just want to get universal background checks and just... No, that's not true. In here, every year, it gets stricter and stricter and stricter. The last time I put a firearms application in it took me 4 months to get it back, and they pull this shit all the time. You get it back, you can only use it for 3 months, and then you have to go through the whole process again. What they do is, if they get it, the state police is very efficient. Background check goes in, boom, 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 it goes back to the police station. Police station sits on it for a couple months, because they know firearms purchases, it's a lot of money. And circumstances arise where you would spend that nut that you were going to blow on a firearm. And finally you get pissed off enough and you call up and you say, where the fuck is my firearms permit? Well, you don't say it like that because they're on a power trip over there. And they go, oh, this every year it's the same. Well, the chief's on vacation. He'll take care of it as soon as he gets back. And then I go down there and I pick it up. And I look at the date, and it's been sitting there for 2.5 months. Uncool. And that's just the thing. You know, Dianne Feinstein will not dictate my life, that fucking cunt. Sorry, ladies, but that's just the way I feel about her. You will not dictate what I do. I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I have nothing to do with you or your liberal mumbo jumbo to make me cannon folly. Not at all. Never gonna happen. Did you see how mad she was? Did you see how mad Obama was because they didn't get their way on the issue that they were pushing, of the disarming of America? And that's exactly what it was. These were the steps to have you put in line to give up everything, to lose all rights. And the whole thing about the Second Amendment, you know, if you get into it, the reason it was put there is to make you safe from a tyrannical government. That's why it was put there. You can forget all about the militia and everything. That was, you know, to have that ability to fight the government. And I don't think that would be such a hot idea. I mean, you see the kind of weapons they have. There's, you know, next thing you know, there's a drone strike coming up the toilet in your bathroom, blowing your ass up. I'm not like one of these Civil War fucking idiots. Oh, there's gonna be a Civil War. Get some goat cheese and buy some gold. Bury it in the yard. We'll live in trees. And, I don't know, wear camo. I'm not in that whole group of fucking nutballs. I'll have a beer with you. It's Sunday night, so have a beer. And I'm completely not a conspiracy theory nut job either. The thing you have to understand is this whole collapse thing, this whole impending doom. People have been prophesizing this for forever. The thing is, there are so many fat cats, like we see all the time, getting arrested, politicians, stealing. They're not going to stop this gravy train. They're not going to let it happen. They're not going to let it derail. They'll give you a little scare once in a while, like, we have to avoid the economic cliff. It's right down to the wire. Oh, there's a filibuster and this guy over here. That gravy train of free meals, monies, slaps in the backs and attaboys, that ain't coming to an end anytime soon. It's just not going to happen. they will do whatever they can to make sure it doesn't happen. Short of a pandemic, that will be a completely different story. I don't sit up at night waiting for the super volcano to explode or the nuclear pulse to take down the power grid. I mean, I got enough other stuff to worry about. You also have to take into consideration the things. I'm going to give you hand gestures. I won't whisper. But the thing is, you have to take into consideration. Now, we're going to go way back, guys. 88 miles per hour back to the 80s? No, we're not going to the 80s. We're going back further. Way further. Like Little House on the Prairie style. These things that we enjoy, they're conveniences. Say it again. They're conveniences. Electricity, transportation, going to the food store and buying food. It wasn't that way before. Way back when, yo. Way back in the day, No. Way back when, you lived off the land, you raised your own food, and if you weren't good at it, you died, or you worked and you bought your stuff. It would be uncomfortable, but it wouldn't be impossible. And in some ways, we may be better for it. The kids, damn whippersnappers, those kids today, those kids, those no good kids, listening to that rap music and smacking down their hoes. Have you ever tried to have a conversation with anyone in their 20s now? The conversation consists of you talking to them staring at their smartphone, completely not paying attention to you, texting, snickering, and then turn around walking away from you. That's what we've created. So maybe the fall of technology would be a good thing. Later, guys.